Greetings, everyone. So here we are. All right. If you've been following along, you know that this is the final page of this particular sketchbook. And for fun, we are going to do our best, and it might happen over a few sessions. We're going to fill this page as much as we can with weird and exciting little doodles. So what I'm going to do actually is just going to start off with something easy. Actually, let's go with a little bit more excitement in these eyes. And we'll zoom in just a little bit here. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. At the time of this recording, it is the 14th day of December, Saturday. Early evening. Well, actually, it's evening. How about that? So I don't have a perfect plan of what I'm doing here. This is just going to be kind of a collage, no real theme, but we'll see how it goes. So I don't know how often when you folks are finishing out a sketchbook that you do this sort of thing or do it any time along the way. To me, this is just kind of a neat thing to do because sometimes in a sketchbook you don't put much on a page. Not that that's a waste, but it's fun to just sort of work over weird little ideas, see where they go, that sort of thing. But this one is just going to be a bunch of things. Whatever sort of pops into my head, semi-random. And then just draw it. It's just kind of fun practice to do this kind of stuff, because background drawing sometimes can be tedious, and if it doesn't bother you so much, then it's not so bad to do it. And some of these I fully expect to be absolutely ridiculous, and others I might put a little bit more time into. But for the most part, we're not trying to do anything extraordinary. We're just having fun. And some of these we'll come back later on possibly and look at and say, well, let's elaborate on some of these drawings. But instead, what we're going to do is just try to find our way through fun little ideas. Where nothing has to be perfect. For some reason I'm putting in a carrot like it matters. But really just putting in little fun details. So let's think of, well, what happens if we put something like this in? And it can be guesswork. Nonsense. Just trying to think of more little fun objects to just randomly put in. So, what happens if the rabbit has jumped out of their shoes? And over here, we might have an oven and range. The range hood up above. Sure. Okay. So this is going to be messy. Some cabinetry. Let's go with like a farmer sink, I believe they're called. Now, for any part of this process, if you feel as if you just want to get to the end of it, feel free to do that. You can make your way to your settings and change the speed of playback. But if you're looking at the time of the video and you're drawing along, that's fine as well. So something that's typical with house construction is oftentimes, if the kitchen sink isn't in the island, as some modern versions might be, there's a window where the kitchen sink is. And that's sort of a typical thing for many farmhouses. Some people grow their own herbs and stuff like that, so we'll have a few in the window here. So yes, getting back to this, by no means are you obligated to watch this in regular speed. That's sort of like one of those promises that I made to myself with this channel, that I'm not going to go out of my way to edit the content. I will try to not make like 5-hour-long videos though. So I'll break it up. But yeah, you can change the playback speed or just go to the end of this, what could be a short series anyway. Now, how about for fun? Up here in the ceiling, there's a light with a fan. Well, that's fun. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just dumping out my mind of things. A quick and ugly version of a tower. Not very specific. We're making it into kind of a Christmassy like tree with the opportunity to festively decorate. Okay. Over here, let us think of another animal. Some kind of a kitchen party going on here. Just dancing and good times. Good times going on. Now, off to one side here. Let's have a chair that's fallen down. So, are any of you planning special get-togethers? There are people that get together with others this time of year with family and friends. Do you dance? Is that something that's part of what you do? I think it's all right to boogie every so often. Or it might be just something that you do by yourself, sitting in your car listening to music or something like that. That's not a terrible thing. Here's somebody that may be a little embarrassed that they knocked down that chair. It is not a problem. It's certainly nothing to be embarrassed about. And maybe there's someone going to be peeking outside or on the other side of the donkey, maybe horse. Over the years, though, maybe more donkey than anything else. But someone's going to be here almost as shocked. Because maybe it made a bit of a noise. Startled them. Or maybe they're just letting them know, it's not that big of a deal. Or maybe they didn't see it coming either. Strange. Now, we're going to do some more ridiculous stuff that has nothing to do with whatever's going on in this scene. We will have somebody else, let's say right here. kind of a frog-like character. Maybe a salamander. Let's see where this goes. Already I kind of like just the look on this character's face. So maybe I'll take a moment or two, see where this one goes. I'm kind of reminded of like a little Warner Brothers cartoon, only this would be more of a top hat, right? Maybe this is more of a bow tie here. Does this seem familiar to any of you? I seem to remember something like this. Maybe it was in like a Bugs Bunny cartoon or something. It's like a little dancing frog, I think. I don't know. It's a weird memory sort of dump. The face didn't look exactly like that. I think it was more of an elongated neck or something. I think it was singing like, "Hello, my baby." Does that seem familiar? I don't know. Do ragtime gal, something like that. Yes. I think that was the song. Doing kind of like one of those, I think they're called the Rockettes. Ooh, and with tails, right? Maybe curled up at the end a little bit. These type of jackets don't really exist anymore. Or I should say they've gone out of fashion. But yeah, doing like a, let's say like a rocket styled leg kick here, though if it's a real rocket, you got to be kicking up here. You got to kick up to your head. Webbed feet. This is a weird memory. That's funny. And let's work on that other tail, which let's say is flying like that. Yeah, that seems familiar. Toad with the little spots. All right. I don't know how much more to put into this one. That seems like fun. Would we have a dance partner? I don't know. But let's say over here we'll have another little memory. Although we could have made the eyes a bit bigger. Let's do that anyway. Make the eyes a lot bigger. With an uncomfortable, awesome haircut. Now, I forget the name of the stick positions like this. When you play the drums, there's something that you, I don't know, there's a name for it. I don't think it's called a timpani style, where you'd have different grips, but let's say your less dominant hand might have the means by which to let the stick kind of bounce a little bit. Does that make sense? I don't know. Or maybe it's not a thing. Maybe it doesn't have a specific name, but I think it's a marching band thing as well. I could be wrong. Not my wheelhouse. Now, often these might have a single pivot and dual shoulder straps. But somebody invited the little drummer boy along. That's my friend Neville letting me know that it is about 35 minutes into this. And we don't have to do this for hours at a time. So we may just take a little break. We'll come back and we'll finish some more things. So let us choose the little drummer boy as the final thing. reminded of the Bing Crosby and I keep wanting to call him Davy Jones now that he's passed, but David Bowie. I keep thinking about their version of The Little Drummer Boy. It's probably one of the best. I don't believe Bing Crosby knew who David Bowie was at that point. I just thought he was a polite British lad with a good singing voice. But yeah, about that David Bowie, I mean, a lot of you know this. Because of the popularity of the Monkees, and the singer from that, one of the singers of that group, kind of like the lead singer, tambourine player, dancer of the snake. Yeah, David Jones changed his name to David Bowie. And that's a weird thing to be known by many years later. So I'm just putting some little touches on this just for fun. Give it a little bit more detail. Barefoot, playing the drums. Not too complicated. Some slight action marks, which only you and I know about for a moment. I'll give just a quick little outline on some of the things that need a little bit of separation. Those eyes are a bit much. And we'll separate some of the hair for detail's sake. Let the ears settle into a much more natural place. Well, at just about 40 minutes, I think that'll be it for the doodling in this book. And we'll come back to this at another point, and we'll fill this page as much as possible. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day, whatever time it is, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.